Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Hurd.
And I'm Kathy Casey.
Hi, Kathy. Nice to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, Michael.
And welcome, everybody. So, today, actually, last time we talked about l listening to other people when we don't agree with what they're saying. And I thought we'd take it in the same direction and talk about listening to people or having a conversation with people when the other person is very emotionally
Mhm,
charged, or
mhm,
maybe we're
mhm.
emotionally charged about it too. Like when it's a hot topic. And I'm just curious, do the same things apply that you shared last time, or is anything different? Or what do you do
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
talking with somebody and
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
super charged, super
yeah,
emotional?
yeah, absolutely. Well, as you were speaking, something just occurred to me, and actually an experience I had, and it seems like an extreme example, but it really makes the point. I used to do this work in the jail system here in Santa Clara County. And they actually had me go into the high secure unit, which means they used to call it Thunderdome because there was so much fighting and animosity. And the commander of the jail, I was doing other work in other parts of the jail, and he asked me, would I be interested in going into this particular unit because they were just having so many fights. And for some reason, he had a feeling that me going in there might help the situation. So, of course, I said yes. And so when I showed up, the officer was not happy because, when a civilian comes in, it makes him more anxious that something could happen to me. But what people don't realize about me is I used to be a correctional officer in a previous lifetime. So I shared that with the officer, which helped him calm down about me being in there. So we finally got a group of guys. They were let out of their cell and in a separate room. And so I pretty much did the class every week. And over time, they were great. They were really into it. They were listening. They were telling me they had never heard this before, and it was helping them sleep better, all these wonderful things. And the fighting started to come way down. There were less fights. And so, that's another story to tell. But in any event, one week, a new guy came to the class, agitated, intense, very intense. Even the other inmates were like kind of shifting away from him. And the correctional officer who was there, he had a way of checking up on me. So, and the inmates definitely would protect me. So I wasn't really fearful at all. But I saw somebody in front of me who was extremely intense, extremely agitated. And this is what I tend to do. I just intuitively just got really present with him. And I even got a little closer to him. And I said, please, could you say that again? I would really like to understand what you're trying to say. And the guy, it just threw him for a loop because he's used to people reacting to him. So when things get a little volatile on the outside, environments or people, I tend to go into this, what I would call triage mode. And people in the, emergency services, they know about this. Surgeons, nurses, people in the medical field, or firefighters or whoever, there's this mode that people go into, the zone, when they're dealing with something really intense on the outside. And so I just got really present with him. And he right away started to kind of calm down. He said, well, I don't know why I'm here, and I don't like being here. I said, okay, okay. And you know what? If you don't want to stay, you don't have to. So I just was with him, just really listening to him, really hear him. So he eventually settled down and he was able to sit still, and we continued the class. Well, the next week he wasn't there again. He was gone. And so, but the other inmates, they said, how did you do that? How did you do that? Because they said they were kind of on guard, like they were getting ready to do what it took to take him down. But you were different. I said, well, see, this is what you want to know about dealing with people who can be overly emotional, overly intensely opinionated, overly screaming at you, and your name is on it, or just people who get impatient or anything like that. The most impactful, effective, leveraged way I have with other people is for me to have a free and clear mind.
Mm.
When my mind's free and clear, I I can see way more. I get a wider vantage point. But here's the other thing. People feel that. And think about people in your own life who got really present with you in a time of crisis, or you were just sharing something, or they were just a loved one. And you could, we all have somebody in our lives who see us in spite of us, feeling like we're not at our best, but they always see the best in us. I mean, think about times when that you got to experience that. And it's not that often. It's not that often that we get the gift of presence from another human being. But that's where your leverage is. That's where all of your power is. And it's not like, okay, I need to be calm. No, it's you have this deep knowing that I can slip into this, what I would call pure, clear state of mind because it's there. It's just covered up with our busy thinking, but we can absolutely slip into it. So I challenge you to look back at your life when you have experienced that, or you have been witness to it. I actually got in a different unit in the jail system. It was the gang unit, and it was all guys from the gang, and usually the officers are very reactive. So if somebody starts looking like they're going to have a fight, they scream at them, lock down, and it's very intense. But this one time, this guy was mouthing off to another inmate, and I thought, oh, here we go. They're going to kick me out, lock down. But the officer was cool. He said, okay, here's the deal. You need to go up to your cell right now and just chill. You need to go right now. And I'll escort you. And so the inmate kind of, but you could feel the inmate was still like, but he said, no, it's okay. Let's just go upstairs and let's just calm down. I'd never seen that at all, ever. And this guy prevented a very bad situation because when a fight breaks out, they call it the SWAT squad. I mean, the SWAT, what are the SWAT team? And like 10 COs come up with their masks and their batons. And I mean, I've been there a few times, but he was able to mitigate that and help the guy just calm down. And I went, see, that state of mind. The officer intuitively knew if he stayed calm, it would help the inmate stay calm. Now, if it got, of course, he would call on for help if he needed to.
Mm.
But if people did that more, just in relationship, like yesterday, I was going through a tough time, and my boyfriend said something funny, like I was upset. I was just having a meltdown about a situation. And all of a sudden he said, well, Cathy, it's just your thinking. And when he said that to me, I wanted to kill him. I said, that is not a good time to say, this is your thinking. And I got really mad at him. And he said within 3 minutes, he realized he sent me a text. He said, I apologize for being such a knucklehead. Because in a situation like that, when I'm having a meltdown, I need somebody to just really be calm with me,
Yeah, to be
just
that
to hang in.
present
Yeah,
that you're talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
just be calm with me. And I do this for a living, and I can still have a meltdown. So in your life, when somebody's coming at you, or there's a situation that looks volatile, there's a place that you have inside of you. And again, I just want you to appreciate that it's there. And I want you to reflect in your own life when you've connected to it. I'm not here to convince you. I want you to see that this really is inside of you.
Mm.
And that's what I'm talking about. So somebody could be ranting and raving, but if you really are there to want to be with them and really be on their side and understand them, they can feel that. They can feel that. Or just somebody has a different opinion. Doesn't mean you have to agree with what they're saying, but if you're willing to hear them out, most people never get that. They never get that. So that's what I deeply know about being in situations where it can get volatile, where people are opinionated. Now, if you're not up to the task, if you don't, if you're not able to go into this zone, whatever you want to call it, then do the best you can. Take care of
Mhm.
yourself. You may have to leave the room, or you may need to tell the person, hey, I can't do this right now. So absolutely. But you want to check in on your state of mind first. And then look, then you want to have a set of eyes on, well, oh, this person's just getting flooded in thought right now. They're just flooded and it's just coming straight out. And that's all you want to see about that.
Mhm.
Now, if you're flooded in thought while they're flooded in thought, you want to see that too. And we're
Mhm.
human, and that can, like yesterday, I was having a complete meltdown. So I was innocently just in it. So if we could just appreciate that and have compassion for ourselves, and then see other people can go through as much as what we go through. So that's what I would tell. And it's not listening per se, it's understanding where state of mind comes from. It
Mm.
comes from thought.
Yeah, so it's really not like it's not a practice of doing something or
Yeah, 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 yeah,
listening
yeah,
or yeah.
yeah.
It's
Just saying, okay, am I in a lot of thought or not? And are they in a lot of thought or not?
mm,
And as you're able to navigate, like there are times when it's not the best time to give your opinion if somebody's all geared up about their own opinion. Well, you sharing your opinion, it's just that there's not going to be a connection.
mhm,
But if you
mm,
hear somebody out and then they finish and you say, well, would it be okay if I shared my opinion about that? They're more apt to listen
mhm,
if you've been able to hang in there with them.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And they know if you've hung in there with them too, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can tell. Yeah, yeah. You
And
you
you know
you
if you're
can
hanging
tell.
in too, like you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Because sometimes we sit there and we're watching them and we're waiting for them to finish. That's
Mhm.
not what I'm saying.
Right. Right, right.
We're with them.
Looking at her watch.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But we're all human and we're in volatile times right now, and everybody has something to say about everything.
right.
And with social media and TV
Hmm.
and podcasts, and I mean, we're in a world of opinions right now. That's how I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that. That's
That's a
how
great way
we're
of,
we're
yeah.
we're living in a world of opinions.
Hmm.
Well, I want people to see it as we're living in a world of thought, a
Mm.
lot of thought. That's what we're living in. Where I'm living in my thought and they're living in their thought.
Hmm.
But when we get really present with each other, we can go beyond the thoughts, beyond the words, and kind of see we all want the same thing. When I asked these inmates one day, I said, what do you guys want? What do you want in life? And they all said peace of mind.
Mm.
Every one of them. I just want, see, we all want the same thing.
Hmm.
And if we could start to have an appreciation for that, that to me is the secret of getting any kind of connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I think that's a great place
Yeah.
to wrap up our talk today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michael.
Great. Thank you, Cathy.